So Bob, did you listen to the Jim O'Brien show last night? Yes, I did. I really enjoyed his explanation of why a good open three-point shot is better than a good uncontested long-distance two-point shot. I was also fascinated by his views of pressure defense while forcing the opponent to the middle of the floor. Yes, but did you hear the callers? Of course, if I listened to the radio show, I obviously heard the callers as well. Well, what did you think of the callers? Like all callers to a talk show about sports, you have some who will ask questions and express opinions and ideas that are well informed. Then you have another group who rely purely on emotion and cannot craft a sentence together to save their life. Well, did any of the callers stand out to you? As I said, there were some who did represent the nation of Pacer fans with intelligence and decorum. Anyone in particular? I did enjoy the call where the fan expressed his desire to see the team get healthy, and that he was rooting for the team to make a second half push and try and grab the last playoff spot. Sure, but did any of the other callers strike your fancy? No, not really. I'm assuming that you had a caller in mind that I should have appreciated. Well, now that you mention it, only after you have prompted me, there were a couple of callers that stood out to me. I enjoyed that one guy on there who did nothing but complain about Tyler Hansbrough the entire time and kept telling Jim he was a fool for not taking Blair in the draft. You do realize that Jim O'Brien has nothing to do with selecting players in the draft, right? Yes, but it was still fun listening to this guy go off on Jim. When he started to talk about projected per 48-minute numbers and Mark Boyle interjected that projections don't always guarantee results, and that caller yelled, "Silence, you are in my world now." I thought that was brilliant. Well, it might have been entertaining, but I don't see where calling the longtime voice of the Pacers a non-believer is helpful to anything. However, was that the caller that you have been prompting me for, or was there another? Well, now that you ask, I really don't care, but I don't see as where I'm walking away from this conversation without you telling me. I thought the caller Big Richard was absolutely brilliant. Yes, that was a clever name, but what about his call was so brilliant to you? Was it the fact that instead of asking a quality basketball question to Coach O'Brien, he instead asked what deal he had made with the devil to keep his job? Ha 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 ha. I also don't really think it was appropriate for that caller to question whether or not Troy Murphy was somehow an illegitimate child of Jim's. But did you not think that his use of technology was at least good? Well, to be honest, I was impressed that he somehow did manage to play the Benny Hill theme song when Jim was trying to answer the one basketball question he did ask about his offensive philosophy. However, I did not see the need to make farting noises whenever Jim talked about a trailer pulling up for a three-point shot. I enjoyed his banter with Mark Boyle myself. I feel pretty confident that Mark, even if he wanted to, would not agree on the air that Jim makes Dick Versace look like Jerry Sloan. Also, did Big Richard really think that Mark was going to actually reach over and kick Jim in the groin just because he asked him to? I think it was worth the caller asking. I don't know that fans like that represent the franchise very well. Hater. I'm certain that this same guy posts on Conrad Bruner's game log. However, on there he logs in as doing your mom 420. I've seen his posts and always enjoy them. I'm sure you do. So how long are you been from calling the Coaches Show? Only for 1 year, but I think it was worth it.